Okay, hi everyone. I think we're ready to begin. Welcome to our book sharing for tonight. I'm Ryan, and if you're just watching this for the first time, this is something we do regularly at Syzygy as something to develop people to their fullest potential. We call this our Optimal Self series. And we every time we do this, we tackle a different book on personal development, something that you can apply in your day-to-day life, dealing with your coworkers or your classmates or your loved ones, so that you can actually develop yourself and bring out your best potential. So we do that by sharing on books. And our book for this session is The Happiness Project by Gretchen Rubin. We're very privileged to have a book share coming all the way from Beijing. She is enrolled in the Beijing Film Academy and is studying to be an actress. Wow, very exciting. She's also a young business owner, building together with her mom, who's based in Dumaguete. So we're very excited to hear from her. Let's welcome Trish Lopez. Hi, Trish.
Hello, hi guys. Thank you so much, Ryan, for such it's an honor for me to be introduced by an incredible person like Ryan, and I always get super excited to see you guys, to be here. Let me just share with you my screen. Hmm. Right, I don't think I can. I don't know why I can't share. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Can you guys see my screen? Right,
Works well,
perfect.
Trish. Thank you.
Okay, that was a little bit scary. Okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into Gretchen Rubin's The Happiness Project. And I want to start with a question that I'd love for you to type in the chat. When was the last time you consciously thought about your own happiness? And while I give our audience time to speak their own thoughts, let me just share with you one quote that struck me when I first opened this book. Um, there is no duty we so much underrate as the duty of being happy. It came from Robert Louis Stevenson, and that's a pretty radical way to think of happiness as a duty. But as Gretchen points out, it's not about selfishness, it's about presence, gratitude, and resilience. Um, yeah, I personally started um, thinking about happiness more seriously when people around me started pointing it out before I did. They'd say I looked more tired than usual or not as enthusiastic as I used to be. And that surprised me because I honestly thought I was doing fine. I thought this is what normal looks like when you're busy but still seeing friends. But then every now and then, someone would ask, "Are you okay?" And I'd pause, and sometimes I just wouldn't have an answer. There were moments when I'd feel this tightness in my chest or even tear up without fully understanding why. And looking back, I was clearly burned out. I'm not sure if anyone else here has experienced the same, but I had just gone through something really heavy related to a past project that some of you might not know about. And even though I didn't talk about it much, it stayed with me longer than I expected. It drained a lot more from me than I wanted to admit. that was the moment I realized that just getting through the day wasn't enough. So I wanted more than that. I wanted to feel steady joy again, not just in big moments, but in small, quiet ones too. And so I picked up this book, and we shall start in our own happiness projects. So let me just share with you some of the comments from the chat. Miss Olivia said, I am happy when with family, particularly Riker. It's a different thing to be a grandma now, right? Yes. And Sir Tito said, when you emote happiness, you infect the people around you. That is so true. Right. Okay. And so what is the happiness project? Ruben didn't leave her job or moved to Bali. She didn't start over. She looked at her life and thought, how can I be happier in this exact life? She said, I wanted to change my life without changing my life. So how do we do that, right? So the project is broken down into three steps. The first step is preparation. So what brings me joy and what brings guilt or stress? We need to identify those. And step two is to make resolutions make concrete small goals. And number three is to keep resolutions. So we need to track them day by day. So I want to ask you guys, what would you want to feel more of in your life? Um, would you want to feel more joy, gratitude, excitement, peace? Feel free to use emojis. We're in a, in a new generation now, and people communicate through emojis. So before diving into the monthly themes, I took some time, like Gretchen suggested, to really sit with my own sources of joy and guilt. And to be honest, that was harder than I expected. And it's one thing to know what should make you happy, but it's another thing entirely to admit what's actually draining you. So for me, when I listed everything out, I realized I was spending so much energy on things that didn't refill me, things like studying constantly, not out of passion, but pressure, people pleasing. Not sure if we have people pleasers here, worrying about making ends meet. I saw how scattered my energy had become because of that. And that's why Gretchen's first month, January, Boost Energy, hit home in such a powerful way. But before I do that, let me just read. Oh, yeah, Feel More of Joy from Miss Romina. Okay. And Sir Tito said, I want peace. It is a very elusive commodity. That is so true. It's hard to find peace, and I don't know if we have true peace. We can say that we have peace, but it's not necessarily like true. Um, okay, so the first month is January. Outer order brings inner calm. Ruben tackles sleep, clutter, and exercise. So after identifying what drained me, I knew I needed a better baseline, which is more vitality. I realized that joy doesn't need to start big. Sometimes it's just a 10-minute stretch, clearing the dinner table, or letting the scent of crackling candles fill the room while vinyl plays softly in the background. It's very dramatic. Uh, but tiny rituals, very mundane on paper, can be quietly revolutionary when you do them constantly. She has this concept called 1 minute declutter. So when you have a lot of things in your house that if it can be solved within 1 minute, just do it. Just quickly do it just like that. Okay. Next came love, and I had to take a long, honest look at how I was showing up in my relationship. I used to think faking happiness was helpful, like I was shielding my boyfriend from my stress, but it only made me feel more alone and him more confused, right? Because girls are confusing. So I started small, smiling when I saw him, saying thank you for the little things, and the shift was almost instant. He felt it, I felt it. Gretchen said, act the way you want to feel. So Gretchen was right. It felt awkward at first, but then it felt love. So focus on deepening relationships, not through grand gestures, but small acts. So what can you do to your partner right now? Um, and I wanted to ask you guys, what love language speaks to you most? Is it words, time, acts, touch, gifts? And what is your partner's love language? So we can start small. Next is Aim Higher, March. Ruben explored growth in her career and personal goals. She said enthusiasm is a form of social courage. Not sure if you agree with that. March was about growth, and for me, that meant rediscovering what I love, storytelling. Writing a script for class reminded me that I don't just enjoy this, I need this. One professor's encouragement sparked something in me, but let's be honest, passion doesn't pay rent. Being broke is horrible. I started looking for ways to earn smart passive income. Shout out to CZG, by the way, for their preview events and business model. It gave me hope that purpose and practicality don't have to be opposites. Yeah. Okay. Next is April and Lighten Up. It's a parenthood. Who are parents here? Obviously, I'm not. I can't relate to parents as of the moment, but Gretchen made parenting more fun, not perfect. Now, I'm not a parent, so April's theme on lightening up around parenting made me pause. But then I thought, where in my life am I taking things too seriously? And instantly I thought of the way I beat myself up for not being productive every minute of the day. I'm learning that it's okay to laugh at myself. At your kids, when when they do something silly. You don't have to be super strict all the time. And if it's April, maybe we could have an April's Day joke with your kids, which is gonna be a really exciting experience for everyone. So, I'm learning that it's okay to laugh at myself, to fail, to leave things unfinished sometimes. We all need to loosen the grip a little. So, I wanted to ask you guys again, how do you remind yourself not to take things too seriously? Okay, next is May. So, this month, be serious about play. Well, as adults, we need fun too. We need playtime too. What hobbies give you energy? So we need to think about that. May reminded me that joy is productive. Miss Rowena said that she needs more joy in her life. And we could start small. For me, I love writing letters, melting wax, and stamping envelopes like it's 1823. I collect vinyl now, thanks to my boyfriend's birthday gift. But these things don't take, but life feel full. And they make me feel present. And honestly, I think that's the most productive thing of all. And so I ask you guys, what's your guilty pleasure time? Waste time. Yeah, I'd be happy to read all of your comments later. But let's move on to June. Make time for friends. So, to be happier, you have to think about feeling good, feeling bad, and feeling right in an atmosphere of growth. So, friendship became a quiet lesson for me. I'm not sure if you guys can relate or if it happened to you before, but I lost many friends in just 6 months, and that kind of loss reorients you. It showed me how fragile yet vital connection is. So I held on to the small things like birthdays. I became that person who always remembers. Sometimes I'd be the only one who greeted them, and that mattered a lot to them. And I quietly stopped gossiping. No big announcement, just a small boundary, and with it came a strange, deep sense of inner peace. So that was fun. Next is July. Buy some happiness. So I'm not saying that you have to do these things by the month, but I'm just saying that this is how Gretchen moved about her project. But this is something that we can always apply in our daily lives. Anyway, buy some happiness. Okay, money can buy happiness if spent on the right things like experiences. Here's where things got surprisingly emotional. I don't need design or anything, but when my okay, I keep talking about it, but I'm obsessed with the vinyl records. I literally play my vinyl records every day. So when my boyfriend gave me vinyl records, I almost cried. And that was happiness. And then when I was back in Manila last February, I spent it on books. I said no to drinking nights so I could say yes to chocolate cake or milk tea and books. And when I did splurge, it was for experience. So Korea with friends, Japan alone, those memories priceless. And I'm sure that a lot of our leaders here tonight can relate to the feeling of having experience as, kind of like the most priceless thing that they could have. So it reminded me money can buy happiness if you know what it's really worth to you. So I wanted to ask you guys, what's the best money you ever spent for happiness? So we're not hedonic right here. We're not spending too much money and we're not abusing or being greedy about money, but it's just, to fulfill our own little teeny tiny happiness in life. Okay, then there's August. We contemplate the heavens. So there's spirituality, mindfulness, gratitude. For me, this month I had to go deeper because when my name was almost turned in to the police, when I lost friends and ruined my reputation, I was alone. Except I wasn't. My mother stood by me, and my faith, especially praying the way of the cross, carried me through the shame and fear of the experiences that I recently had. But some wounds are invisible, and I'm sure that a lot of us can relate to that. Um, but some healing can only come from silence, prayer, and the belief that grace meets us in the middle of despair. So, another question for you guys. What's one practice that brings you peace or perspective? Will it be meditation, prayer, walks, journaling? Anyone? Okay. September. Pursue a passion. Ruben rediscovered reading. What's your thing? I'm curious about that. Passion returned to me like a fog lifting. Writing my novel. I'm starting to develop a novel. It lit something inside me again. It won't be easy, but I already feel the fog happiness Gretchen described. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the concept of fog happiness, but I have the book right here and I dog-eared the page. See me? She said fog is elusive. Fog surrounds you and transforms the atmosphere, but when you try to examine it, it vanishes. Fog happiness is the kind of happiness you get from activities that, closely examined, don't really seem to bring much happiness at all, yet somehow they do. Which I'm guessing parenting is as well. Like sometimes it can get really tough, it can get really frustrating, it can get confusing, but fog happiness, it surrounds you and the whole thing gives you joy. And I'm sure that I've been a headache to my mom a lot of times in the past 23 years. But I'm sure she's happy. Okay. So, yeah, I'm also returning to reading just 15 minutes a day, and already I feel sharper. Wushu, tennis, and golf, these aren't distractions. They're signals that I'm finally choosing what fulfills me. So, what fulfills you guys? And then October, pay attention. So, mindfulness, noticing the little joys. This month is about presence, about savoring what's right in front of you. I'll read directly from Gretchen Rubin's list of examples here because sometimes the simplest things hold the most truth. Let me know which one is your favorite. She said, yeah. Okay. My children are my most important priority. Get some exercise every day. Jamie, her husband, is my top priority in matters big or small. Yes comes right away, no never comes. Get some work done every day. Whenever possible, choose vegetables. I know as much as most people. I'm in a hurry. Try to attend any party or event to which I'm invited. Oh, parents would love this. My parents are almost always right. If I'm not sure whether to include some text, cut it out. Yeah, so there's a lot of it here. I'm not gonna waste your time because you just pick up the book and read it. But anyway, so what's something I want to ask you guys, what's something small that made you smile this week? This is something that I'm really curious about. Something small that made you smile this week. Okay. November. Keep a contented heart. So focus on gratitude and attitude. Gretchen said, what you do every day matters more than what you do once in a while. So this month felt like a gentle challenge to realign our perspective. Gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's a lens. And so Gretchen made a list of secrets of adulthood lessons. I'm gonna open it again. Such as people don't notice your mistakes as much as you think. It's okay to ask for help. Most decisions don't require extensive research. Do good, feel good. It's important to be nice to everyone. Bring a sweater. Okay, never mind. By doing a little bit each day, you can get a lot accomplished. Soap and water remove most stains. Turning the computer on and off a few times often fixes a glitch. We have an IT professional here, Sir Tidus, and I'm sure he will agree. If you can't find something, clean up. You can choose what you do, you can choose what you like to do. Happiness doesn't always make you feel happy, and you don't have to be good at everything. If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough, and all of our leaders here can attest to that. And over the counter medicines are very effective. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. And what's fun for other people may not be fun for you, and vice versa. And no deposit, no return. Oh, also for the parents, you can't profoundly change your children's natures by nagging them or signing them up for classes. So, uh, just a little, just a little tidbit for parents. We have um a lot of parents here. Okay. Next. Um, so these are very light, but they're powerful. So let's make this collaborative. I'm curious because most of the people here in this audience are younger than me, and I'm so very much curious about what you think. So drop your own secret of adulthood in the chat. I'd love to read a few out loud. Okay. Moving on, December, boot camp perfect. So, and finally, December, the wrap up, but not perfection. Gretchen calls this the month to try everything you've learned, but with grace. So, no deposit, no return. This isn't about being flawless, it's about showing up, practicing happiness the same way we'd practice a sport, a language, a song. I know my mom is obsessed with Taylor Swift songs, so the as much as she sings Taylor Swift songs, we need to practice these little stuff, these little things. So, which of these concepts speaks to you most right now? Which theme would you want to begin with? I'm very, very curious about that. So, um, three big takeaways from Gretchen's journey. Knowing yourself is crucial. So be Gretchen, as she says. Or for me, be Trish. Maybe for you guys, be Titus, be Charisse, be Ryan, be Romina, be Olivia. And no, nothing else, no one else can replace us. There's no one else like us. Oh, no one else like you. Yeah. So small changes make big happiness. And outer order really supports inner calm. So, what have I learned about myself through my own version of a happiness project? A lot, honestly, but one of the hardest and most liberating truths I've learned is this: people pleasing hurts everyone involved. I'm not sure if you've been a people pleaser or if you are a people pleaser. I'm a pathological people pleaser. It's easy to confuse kindness with self erasure. I thought being agreeable meant I was being a good person. But over time, I realized that constantly saying yes when my heart was saying no wasn't kindness. It was dishonesty disguised as generosity. So you can be kind and have boundaries. You can care about people deeply and still say, I can't take this on, or I'm not in the right place for this. Whether it's turning down extra work or admitting on a date that you're not emotionally ready for a relationship, being honest is a form of respect. And protecting your energy is not selfish. It's necessary if you want to show up for others with your whole heart, with your whole being. I also relearned how important it is to pay attention to the little things, those quiet miracles that surround us every day. So when I first moved to Beijing, everything amazed me. The golden light filtering through tree branches as I bike through campus, children giggling near a fountain in the park, steam rising from like a baozi cart in the winter. So I saw it all with wonder, but somewhere along the way as life got heavier, I stopped looking. I let it all blur. Now, by practicing attention and gratitude though, I've started noticing again, noticing joy, and in that noticing, I've begun feeling alive again, grounded, humbled, like Gretchen did. So now I want to ask you, happiness for me means blank. Take a moment, fill in the blank in the chats, whatever comes to mind first. It doesn't need to be profound, just honest, because the words you choose might reveal what your own happiness project is calling you toward. So, yeah, let me see the chat. Oh wow, it's a lot. Um, Mine is ask my wife is time. Oh, that's so sweet. That's nice. I'm a parent to 13 cats. The dirty dozen. Wow, lucky cats. Chad's affirmation, mine is touch. Yeah. What I learned about love languages is you don't have to have the same love language as your partner, but still, you can have the most wonderful time with your partner if you understand each other's love languages. Travel is wonderful, memories are prices. I watch musicals. Oh, which is your favorite musical, Miss Rowena? Miss Romina? I love watching musicals too. But in our business, we get free travel, no need to pay. Literally priceless. Prayer time, gospel reflection, walking, writing. So these are your meditations, reflections. Doing many things that men of my age struggle to do made me smile. You don't need to be perfect, just be the best that we can do. Able to give to someone who needed it the most without the person knowing it came from me gives me happiness and fulfillment. It's very wholesome, Sir Titus. It means peace for me. Happiness means peace. Don't dwell in the past because you can't change it. Look forward to the future. Happiness for me is spending time with family. I have my intimate relationship with God. Everyone here is very wholesome. Like I can learn so many things from you guys and we can learn from each other. And the comment section just shows the type of people that we are what that we are in this community. CZG Philippines is an incredible place to be for growth financially, emotionally, mentally, and every part of your life. It's holistic. So thank you for sharing those, you guys. There's something powerful about putting words to what happiness means to us because it reminds us that it's deeply personal. Happiness is deeply personal, and that no one can define it for us but ourselves. And that leads us to something important, why a happiness project matters. So it's easy to ask, isn't focusing on happiness like selfish? So people say, oh, self care is so selfish. But especially in a world filled with so much noise, pain, and pressure, but here's what Gretchen Rubin realized, and what I've come to believe too. Happy people are more generous, more resilient, more present, more creative, kinder. So happiness isn't the result of having everything figured out. It's the fuel. It's what gives us the energy to show up for others, to survive the bad days, to soften when the world feels hard. So Rubin wrote that she started her project not just to feel better now, but to prepare for what's to come. Because life turns. Like she said in the book, shit happens. And when it does, what will we have stored inside us? Strength, stillness, grace. And that's why your own happiness project, however small, however quiet, it matters. It's not about escaping your life, it's about stepping fully into it with presence, with choice, with heart. So maybe the real question isn't just what makes me happy? Maybe it's also what kind of person do I want to become by choosing joy today? Yeah. So, um, after everything we've walked through together, from small daily habits to big mindset shifts, from boosting energy to contemplating meaning, what stands out to you? Because here's the truth. You don't need to change your job, your city, your relationship, or your entire life to be happier. Sometimes the greatest transformation comes from noticing what's already here. So, from asking yourself, what could I do with what I have right now, today? And so, I'll ask one final question. If you started your own happiness project tomorrow, where would you begin? So type it in the chat, no pressure, just an invitation. One word, one idea, one direction. There's no one size fits all answer. And that's the beauty of it. Gretchen said it best. I wanted to change my life without changing my life. Wouldn't it be nice? And that's exactly what she did, and that's what we can do. So, as we close today, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being part of this moment, for thinking deeply, feeling honestly, and maybe even seeing your life with a bit more clarity than before. So, whatever your project looks like, may it be honest, may it be kind, and may it bring you home to yourself. After all, happiness isn't a destination, it's a way of being in the world with your eyes open and your heart full. Thank you, guys.
Oh my goodness, Trish, that was phenomenal. Thank you so for that sharing. You are so eloquent and you were able to share a lot of things that we'll be thinking about tonight and the next few days. Wow. Let me just read some of the comments. Great talk. You're truly amazing. She is 23, but so eloquent and passionate. Attitude of gratitude, and everything begins with a decision. Right. Yeah. Uh, happiness isn't somebody else's responsibility. It all starts with
Mhm.
ourselves.
Mhm.
Uh wow, I could not sum up this book uh better than what you did, Trish. Okay. Well, let's open the floor. Does anyone have any questions? Well, we are looking forward to being with you, Trish, very soon in person. In June, she's coming to Manila to be with us in the weekend leadership seminar. Wow, 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 wow. I can also see the proud mom on camera. Thank you so much. Charisse, you must be very proud. Okay. Um, I will thank you so much again. Did distance change the way you look at happiness? I'm assuming it means living overseas for you, Trish.
Definitely. Um, when I was back in the Philippines, things were a little bit more on the surface for me. Happiness meant pleasing other people and being with friends, being with family. But then as I come here and as we go through life and changes in life, you just kind of realize that joy isn't about that, but it's about um kind of like putting a seed inside us, inside ourselves, and nurturing that so that we could feel fulfillment and happiness, especially if you're in another country, dealing with different cultures and different languages. And so happiness for me just became a little bit more quiet, a little bit more reserved, and a little bit more at peace with oneself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting when you step outside your usual comfort zone and you begin to realize some things about yourself. Sometimes
Hmm.
it's when you travel, sometimes it's when you're put in a different situation.
Hmm.
Yeah. Anything else from our audience? Okay. Well, what else is there to be said? Thank you so much, Trish. Distance can make the heart grow fonder. Maybe we'll also get to meet your boyfriend one of these
Oh, I'm
times.
also curious, being a new parent, does that change the way you look at happiness?
Oh, absolutely. I think when you mentioned finding simple joys, seeing life through the lens of a 1 year old, everything is everything is wonder to him. Everything is novel. Uh, like just playing with a ball or running around or looking at a cat. Everything is new to him, and it's made me think about how we as adults, yes, we mature, we grow in wisdom, hopefully. Well, so often we also forget, we let go of the things that which should actually just the small things throughout the day, which should actually be also sources of wonder. And it's to be childlike, yes, childlike, not childish, childlike.
Hmm.
Yeah. Any
Yes.
other parting words from our attendees? I think we're good.
Hmm.
So we're gonna wrap things up there with our recording, but we'll still keep the Zoom on. Thanks again, Trish. And this has been our Optimal Self session for this month on the Happiness Project. Stick around because each month we're gonna cover a different book by another terrific sharer. Really appreciate the time and effort you put into this, Trish. Yes,
Thank
yes.
you, guys.
Yeah. Thanks. And we will see you again.